but the headless creature starts chasing him, and the new kid runs further into the archives.
You better fight
but when
it
Ben
off.
turns around to look, he sees the same clown that killed Georgie.
Oh, hell no! What it is, guys, it's your boy BHD, and today we are here to check out how to beat the demonic clown in It. Now, you guys don't watch the original video. It is by Cinema Summary. Make sure to go subscribe to them. Which brings me to my co-host for today. His and or her name is Chicken Parmesan with a whole shit load of garlic bread. So I guess you could kind of say this would be a tad bit of a mukbang, and we about to get it in. Make sure to go subscribe to Cinema Summary, as I will be leaving off some of the video so that you guys can go check it out yourselves.
If you were being hunted by a child-eating monster who can transform into your worst nightmare, what do you do? This sadistic clown feeds on your fear, and it will murder all of your friends if it isn't stopped. I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the demonic clown Pennywise in It. This boy will never see his family again. Georgie here is playing in the rain with his paper boat when it sails straight into a sewer drain, and he looks inside to see if he can reach it.
Yep, see? Already making a mistake. Being curious and peering into deep, dark holes. What are you doing? It's raining outside, you have no backup or friends with you. The part that messes me up the most about this scene, it's literally just a paper plane. You ain't spend no money on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it.
The boy suddenly sees a pair of eyes staring back at him
Nope.
and finds a clown
And you
hiding
ain't gonna
inside the
run?
drain. The man introduces
Come on,
himself as
son.
Pennywise the clown,
Bruh.
but Georgie here tells him that he needs to go back home. The clown reminds him to take back his paper
No.
boat, and when the kid reaches
No.
into the sewer drain, the man suddenly sinks his teeth in.
And you still didn't run yet? The man's half insane clown posse, half jaws sharp, and you still gonna stick around? Wow. Yep. No. Absolutely no. Yep. No. Absolutely not. This is why the child's not black.
Little boy's arm and tears it off.
Oh!
The boy tries to crawl to safety, screaming in pain, but
Oh!
nobody is around to help him.
Damn.
The creature stretches its arm out and drags him back into the sewer drain, leaving no
Bro, you
trace
gotta
of the
crawl
kid
faster
except
than
a
that.
pool of blood.
You ain't gonna crawl faster than that. Word. They crawled faster than that in Saving Private Ryan, and they had bullets flying over the top of them, and you couldn't do better than a light, slow crawl.
1 year later, and nobody has found Georgie. But Billy here won't give up the search for his little brother. His friends are discussing how they should spend their summer break, but Billy wants their help exploring the sewers for any sign of Georgie. The boy walks home and enters the garage, but his dad has found a secret model of the town's sewage system and is upset. The kid explains that the drain where his little brother went missing is connected to the Barrens and plans to look for him there, but his father doesn't want to hear it. The man has had enough and insists that his little brother is dead. He has no idea that his son is going to uncover a dark secret the town has been hiding for over 300 years. Okay, this dad is absolutely right, but he doesn't have to be such a dick about it. Bill here insists his brother is still alive and has even done research on the town's sewer systems to figure out where his brother
How is he still alive? Like, what's he been surviving on? Poop and unclean sewage water? Huh? What's he been eating? Think about it, people. These are the questions that no one's willing to ask that I am, because I'm...
But there are two huge problems that the boy is not considering. Firstly, there were only 2 witnesses who saw the boy by the sewer drain. One of them refused to comment, but the woman here returned to find a pool of blood, and this tells us almost everything we need to know. If it was a simple kidnapping, there wouldn't have been any blood at all, because the boy was small enough to be abducted without any struggle. Now, an 80-pound child contains 2.6 liters of blood, and you only need to lose 40% of that to die, which for Georgie here would be the same amount that's in this Coke bottle. Judging by how much blood was at the scene of the crime, even after the rain washed most of it away, this is already enough evidence to convince us that he's dead without a doubt. Now, as tragic as that may be, there's an even bigger problem here. If you start connecting the dots, you'll realize that nobody in this town is doing anything to find their children at all. There are at least 6 other kids that have gone missing that year, but there's no sign of any active investigation into the disappearances. The fact that this...
You know why? Because those people are free now. They realize that they are free and they no longer gotta pay child support. They ain't gotta worry about making sure the kids get to school. They ain't gotta pack one of them lunches in the morning. They ain't gotta worry about If their kid chooses Sunny Delight or the purple stuff in the back because he's black in the background of a TV's commercial, you ain't gotta go through none of that. Parents ain't gotta go through none of that now. They more than likely someplace on a boat, popping champagne, taking lewd Instagram pictures of one another. Man, you already know that is a W.
Is trying to convince his dad that Georgie might be in the Barrens is a clear indication that they haven't even bothered to check there. Now, what's most disturbing is that if anyone is qualified to look, it would be this dad here. According to the book, this guy is an electrician for Derry's local hydroelectric power corporation. It's his job to understand where the water in this town is flowing. So if there's any mystery for Bill here to solve, it should be why his dad isn't doing a damn thing to figure out where his son is gone. If this takes place in 1988, that's only 8 short years after John Wayne Gacy, also known as Pogo the Killer Clown, was arrested after killing 33 young boys. In this context, the parents and taxpayers of Derry should be hyper alert to 6 missing kids in a single year and demand answers from the police about the disappearances. But instead, they all settle for missing posters and a
They should have known that that short fat dude was killing people. He was built like that same killer clown from the Spawn movies with Michael Jai White in them from all those years ago.
7 o'clock curfew with no investigation. This is extremely strange behavior, and if Billy started investigating his father's complete apathy towards the situation instead of the sewer systems, he would quickly discover that every adult in this town is being brainwashed. Later in town, this kid Mike is delivering fresh meat for his summer job and parks in an alley near a butcher shop. Suddenly, he hears a sound behind him and turns around to find several hands reaching out, trying to break free, and they're all burning alive. He approaches as the screams get louder, but that's when the door swings open.
Bruh, you got a door that says quality meats on it, that's got a bunch of hands reaching out from it trying to get to you, and you want to open it up? That's a trap. That's a trap. That is a trap. Don't ask me why I know, but them shits is a trap. Jump over the dip.
They're all burning alive.
Jump over
He
there.
approaches as the screams get louder, but that's when the door swings open,
Let them
revealing a
die.
figure hanging from a meat hook. It waves at him as
Let
his
them
eyes
die
start
alone.
glowing, but suddenly a car comes speeding into the alley and he dodges out of the way. This bully screams at him to stay out of town and they drive off, but the kid is still haunted by what he's just seen. Meanwhile, in the synagogue, this kid Stanley is taking a break from studying the Torah for his bar mitzvah and returns the book to his dad's office. He shields his eyes from a creepy painting of a woman with a long face and puts the book back on the shelf, but he hears something fall behind him. Turning around, he notices the scary painting on the floor and goes to put it back on the wall, but he's shocked when he realizes the woman from the painting is gone. He looks behind him, and there in the shadows is the woman giving him an evil smile. The boy snaps out of it and runs out of the room before it gets too close. This kid needs to start praying a lot harder. Stanley hears the freight of a painting.
That's messed up. How that's gonna be the advice you give him when he's dying? Man, this kid really needs to tuck his head between his legs and kiss his ass goodbye and pray harder, because I'll tell you, it's not looking good for little Timmy.
Painting, which is a strange condition called sportodyslexic cartophobia. But what's most interesting about this is that whatever the monster is, it already knew what he was afraid of and used it against him. Now, what he just witnessed was so bizarre that later he'll be trying to convince himself it was all in his imagination, and that's going to be a huge mistake. If you don't believe what you saw, then you won't modify your behavior or actions to protect yourself, and it makes it a lot easier to be haunted like this again. The source of his fear comes from a material possession that can be easily destroyed. So if it were me, I would walk back into the room, take the painting out of the synagogue, and burn it. Now, if he did this, he would soon realize that the creature that haunted him will return. So while
That clip he used was from Equilibrium. Go watch that if you like action movies, bro. The fight scenes and the gunplay and that. Tropical blocker, bar none.
solution doesn't eliminate the problem, he'll be able to quickly learn more about what this thing is and what it wants from him. In the library, Ben here plans to spend his summer indoors reading. He's the new kid at school and hasn't made any friends, but when he starts looking into the town's history, things take a dark turn. He reads about a massive explosion on Easter in 1908 that killed 88 children. Looking through the pictures, he sees a boy's decapitated head high up in a tree and closes the book, absolutely horrified by what he's just seen.
Oh, shit.
That's when he turns around and sees a red balloon
I was about to say, bro, that old lady in the background looked like she was eyeballing him hard as hell.
floating across the room, but nobody else in the library seems to notice it. Going to investigate, he looks through the doorway to find a smoking Easter egg at the top of the stairs and follows a trail of eggs leading him down into the library's archives.
Bruh, this is clearly racist. Found a fat child and gonna lure him downstairs with food. That's setting a terrible example for kids nowadays. How you get lured into a trap using nothing but burnt Easter eggs? They ain't even really edible, I hope.
Suddenly, the lights start to flicker and he hears a noise behind him. Turning around, he sees a boy walking down the stairs, but he's missing his head, just like the kid in the book.
Nope.
Ben here is too afraid to move, but the headless creature starts chasing him, and the new kid runs further into the archives.
You better fight
but
it
when
off.
Ben turns around to look, he sees the same clown that killed Georgie.
Oh, hell no!
Suddenly, he bumps into the librarian, startling them both.
Oh my God, it's Miss Doubtfire with Robin Williams. That's exactly what this lady looks like. She looking like a man.
And turns to realize that nobody else is there. Okay, this is instant.
What's really funny, if I was cinema summary, this is where I would say, okay, now this is the part where you completely skirt everything you just saw. So all your energy right now needs to be directed towards trying to get this old lady to give you a blumpkin. She's old, so she's obviously down.
He didn't even notice that behind him, something evil was watching him before he even went downstairs. But he's just discovered a goldmine of valuable information that could save a lot of people. This town has a long history of terrible events, and almost all of them have an eyewitness account or photographic evidence of a mysterious and unknown clown named Pennywise. Now, the stories of this book are so crazy that we might think it's a work of fiction, but if he dug a little further, he would have found that Branson Budinger, who wrote the book, was found dead shortly after publishing his research. It doesn't prove that the stories and photographs are true, but it certainly supports the pattern of tragic events. This killer clown has also made a huge mistake by revealing himself, because seeing it with your very own eyes helps confirm a series of other logical deductions and rules about the nature of this evil creature. The first thing it confirms is that the cause of these tragic events, including the recently missing children, trace back to the same evil clown. This means it's been haunting the town for hundreds of years, and that makes it supernatural, not human. Secondly, it tried to lure us away from the public to capture us, but as soon as the librarian arrived, the monster disappeared. That means you're never safe unless you're in the presence of an adult. That makes—
See, that's why you gotta get the blumpkin, so that she'll wanna be around you more, so that she can keep the clowns away with the shark teeth. You're welcome. We're gonna edit that out.
makes parents and adults a useful tool, and we need to keep them around for our safety, even if they never believe us. Thirdly, Ben was able to pick up the egg at the bottom of the stairs, so even though it's a supernatural entity, we have reason to believe we can still physically interact with it. This is a big deal, because if it's true, then we can logically conclude we might also be able to physically harm or even kill it under the right circumstances. Lastly, this book clarifies that these events are happening specifically within the boundaries of Derry and not anywhere else. By leaving the town, we might also be free from the boundaries of its influence.
See, and this is why black people survive so hard, usually in scary movies and or just scary situations in general. When crap happens, we get in our car, pack up our families, and we run. If paranormal activity had black people in it, there would be no movie. There'd be nothing to watch. Cause I'd have packed my car up within an hour and a half, probably a lot less. Matter of fact, I'd have paid my unsuspecting neighbors to come in there and pack up my stuff for me. Oh, good looking out, man. Yeah, thanks, Timmy. Thanks so much for 50 bucks. Go ahead, go in there and clean all my stuff out. And if anything moves, you be all right and be a man about it and walk it off. Don't tell people or taunt it like at the end of the real Paranormal Activity movie. And that is why he got thrown directly into the camera. That'll learn them some act right.
And it won't be able to kill us beyond those borders. Now, information is this clown's worst enemy, because if you're informed, then you can be prepared. If it were me, I would be warning everyone in town and show them the proof in this book. It doesn't help that Ben here is a new kid, but if he started telling people, he would soon learn that other kids are being—
Is it bad that I thought all of the people involved in this were boys? So when that chick was just standing there, I was like, dude, that dude has really pronounced feminine shapes on his chesticle.
haunted as well, and they would be able to quickly band together, which is a much safer way to deal with the supernatural threat if it's trying to pick them off one by one. When all the kids finally admit to each other that they're being haunted, it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for us to beat this creature with some pretty crazy ideas. Leaving the library, the new kid is absolutely terrified of what just happened, but it's about to get even worse. The local bullies are waiting for him outside the building and plan to welcome him to the neighborhood as painfully as possible. They take in the Lover's Bridge with—
And that's why it's good to train yourself in all types of things along with working out. That way when the bullies show up, you can help them with the violence. You won't have to be an unsuspecting passenger of a ride that you really kind of didn't want to be into or onto at this point. I would have suggested that the fat kid pick up a brick and smash the closest one to him in the face with it. And I know that sounds violent, and that's because it is, but it'll deter any of them or their friends from ever coming after you again. Because now they know what they're gonna win if they decide to play the world's greatest game show. Is it different? I can assure you, I've played this game from both sides of the fence, and it's always better playing this game. All you gotta do to win this game is just out-violence the people that are fighting you or violencing on you, but just make sure they don't have guns. Because, you know, females will pull their guns if need be.
But they're about to torture him, but that's when a car approaches. He screams out for help, but the passengers don't even look concerned for his safety, and as they drive away, a red balloon appears in the back seat. The leader pulls out his switchblade and begins carving.
Why you gotta cut him? He's already fat and alone and beaten up.
His name into the kid's flesh. But the boy kicks the bully away and falls over the railing, tumbling down the hill towards the river. Furious, they jump down the chase after him, but they've lost his trail.
Okay, look, I've only had this situation happen to me twice. Okay, no. This type of situation's only happened to me like 10 times or less, I think. God, Jesus. I'll give you one of them. I don't know how I made problems with this fat kid named Charlie. He was bigger than me though, and he was a bully type. He had a bunch of friends with him. So one day after school, man, they came after me and, you know, tried to beat me the hell up. Luckily enough for me, I was fast enough to run into the local Vons. And when I got in there, I started asking adults for help. Like, help, they're trying to beat my ass, help, help, help. No one did anything. So I asked like 10 adults and none of them helped me. And the last white dude I asked, and he decided to help. So when I went outside, which all of them were waiting for me right there, the guy walks up, he's like, yo, what the hell's wrong with you guys, blah, 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 and he starts lecturing them, which gave me enough time to run away. So I ran for like 15 minutes straight, and I got into this forest, and I thought I was safe because, like, you know, I'm in a forest, I've been running for 15 minutes straight, bruh. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I got tired, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't in shape. I got tired as shit and ended up in this forest out of breath, which is another reason why running doesn't work, is you just get beaten up tired. So they all surrounded me because I wasn't thinking at the time, like, oh my God, they all have bikes, so they should be able to catch me. But yeah, they caught me, and you know, they all kicked the crap out of me a little bit and acted like I was about to fight him back. Charles steps forward, he squares up, he's like, all right, what's up, what you got? I turned around, grabbed this big old tree branch, huge, and I acted like I was gonna hit him in the face with it. I'm doing this or whatever, like I'm gonna hit him. He acted scared for like 30 seconds, but I guess he tried me and kept getting a little bit closer and closer. And I really wasn't willing to hit him with it. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to. I kind of just want to be peaceful and go home and play video games. So the guy, he ran up on me and I didn't hit him with the stick because I wasn't about that life at that time. They jumped me and beat me up again. It wasn't bad. It was just a good life lesson. But back to our show.
On the other end of the river, Billy and his friends are exploring the sewer systems, looking for any sign of his brother Georgie. Eddie here is terrified of germs and refuses to join the search. But
you terrified of germs,
finds a
man?
shoe floating in the water. Looking inside, they realize that it belongs to Betty Ripson, one of the girls that went missing only weeks ago, and it's evidence that these boys are onto something. That's when they hear the new kid, Ben, stumble into the river behind them. Realizing he's hurt, they offer to take him back into town. Meanwhile, this bully is still looking for the new kid and hears a sound coming from a tunnel nearby. Thinking it's him, he walks inside and uses an aerosol can to light his way. But as he travels deeper, he hears a voice calling out. Lighting the tunnel, he's shocked to see 4 dead people appear in front of him. He runs back through the sewers in terror, but finds his escape blocked by a gate. Suddenly, this red balloon floats towards him and pops, revealing Pennywise the Clown right before the kid is devoured.
Now, see, this is proof. Again, it is actually different. Child thought he was gonna run up in here, bully people, possibly set them on fire with a makeshift flamethrower made out of a hairspray and a lighter, and instead got all of everything of him eaten off by a killer clown. I'm gonna say just desserts. I don't feel bad about the guy, but one thing I will say is karma is a BHD, and this time it just so happened to be a BHD named It the Clown. Now with that being said, I'm going to end this part. I'm gonna make this like a 3-parter because my commentary added to the video makes it like way longer. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for part 2. And after I put all the parts out all night, I make sure to mash them together because I know y'all love that. So Blastphamoushd, peace off, Twizzlers.